Hi, this is a first review of the T9 purchased from MerryMobiles.com. It is an 8-inch 4x3, 800 by 600 resolution capacitive 5-point multi-touch screen, meaning you can do 5 fingers on it. It is running a Samsung processor at 1 GHz, 512 megabyte DDR2 RAM, and it has a 4 gig internal micro SD card. And along the side here, you have this is the home button. You've got a sensor and an LED light for the power, and then your camera's right here. This device is built really well. It's also heavy. It's about 1.5 pounds, or 657 grams, I believe. And the top screen, it's glass, it's hard. You know, there's no worry about pressuring or indentation. And the back side of it is metal. It's really built well. Will handle probably whatever you want to throw at it, particularly a toddler maybe. You know, I wouldn't have any worries about them damaging the screen. So let's go ahead and boot it up. And while it's booting up, I'm just going to show you the ports on the side here. You have the microphone port, headphone. This is the micro SD and possibly a SIM slot. If you watch the internal video, you'll see the internals. There might be a place to put a 3G PCIe card. There's a mini HDMI, and this is a micro USB rather than the usual mini USB. Power button, menu, back, full-size USB, your power, and a little reset switch, which is nice. And as you can see, the device booted up pretty quick. It is running Android 2.2. And it is running firmware dated 6/16/2011, so it's the newest firmware currently available, which did fix some issues with the external SD card and some other pieces that way. So we're going to go ahead and just unlock the screen, and we're going to tilt it. There we go. And as you can see, it's your standard Android screen. You've got a home, volume rocker, you know, kind of buttons up there. You've also got a menu and a back button, and for programs, comes with the basic complement, advanced task killer, camera, calendar, does have a file explorer, Facebook and Twitter are installed, also has Google Voice installed. One thing you'll notice that's missing on here though, it does not have the Android Market currently. That should hopefully be fixed in a firmware update, but for as it stands right now, there is no Android Market. You can see my battery's low also, I've been using it. And also we're hoping that future firmware will support Gingerbread 2.3 because the hardware is very similar to the mid-816 and the mid-816 R2, which are running Gingerbread. There's a very good likelihood that that will come sooner rather than later. So in terms of the programs on here, one interesting one, there's this Car Home right here. And continue. And it's kind of like, it almost feels like a GPS type of program, although there is no GPS built into the unit, but it's got a navigate, phone, voice search. You can put your own shortcuts on here and just kind of use it as a, you know, if you're on the go. Then we're going to go exit car mode. Now, because there's no Android Market, you may think, well, what am I going to do about programs? There are alternatives to getting programs on here without the Android Market. There are two options. One, you can push them out using the ADB and the shell, ADB push and ADB pull, or ADB install. And you can find some of that information out on the forums. The other and probably easier option is just to download the actual APK files, which is the actual program file, and you can search Google for just about any of the programs that you would usually download. Search for, you know, Facebook APK, and you'll commonly find people have posted the files out there. Download that file, put it onto your external SD, and then you browse to it with a file explorer, which we're pulling up a list. I've got a lot of APKs on here. And the other way you can get those APKs, if you have another Android device, you could use a program like System Panel to back those up, to archive them. And then you just copy the APK files off and you can move them onto another device and then just manually install them that way. So a nice little trick there. So wait, and now we've got all these different programs in here that we can install. I'm going to install one here real quick called Toddler Lock. And got to change your settings, set unknown sources as OK, and then we'll go back in and try it again. And now you can see we get the install just like you would on the market, only we've got it on there. I'm going to open that up, agree, start the fun. And as you can see, it is 5-point multi-touch. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And it's very responsive. I mean, it keeps up with whatever you want to throw at it on the touch. So that is toddler lock, and that's just kind of going to show you the screen and its responsiveness. Now I'm going to shut off the video and we'll come back. I'm going to install some other programs to demo using those same methods I just showed you. We'll come back and see how they run. Thanks. Okay, I'm back, and let's go ahead and get to those programs. First up, I've got Adobe Reader installed here. As you can see, it found the PDFs on the internal SD card there. And what I've got in here, I've got just some different sheet music. And as you can see, it pulls it up. That's just a one-pager. And we'll go back. And, scrolls nicely once it's loaded. So that's PDFs. Reads those just fine, from graphic novels to, ebooks. Speaking of ebooks, we have Aldico here. And White Fang. And you can see you can adjust the brightness along the side here. And you can tap to go to the different pages. And then you can also hit the menu button. Oh, I hit the back button. Hit the menu button, that's the power button. There we go. Oh. Menu. There we go. Switch it to day-night mode. Changes it. And you can still adjust the brightness to make it easier to read. So that's Aldico. Everybody's favorite, Angry Birds. See, the speaker's pretty loud on it. Has one speaker right back over here. Everybody's favorite music. As you can see, very responsive, full pinch zoom in. Pretty much as good performance as you're going to expect to find on tablets, phones, everything for Angry Birds. Very smooth, very playable. So that's Angry Birds. As you can see, runs great. It's out of there. I've also got Fruit Ninja here. This one's kind of a good one to show the multi-touch portion of the screen. We'll just do a new game. We're going to do Zen mode. And you can see we've got one finger, 2, 3, 4, and Ginsu 5. Oh. And Amazon kicked in and said I haven't logged in to verify that I own the Fruit Ninja. Some other things I installed YouTube. Again, you can just get these APKs, just search online for YouTube APK, and you should be able to find the install file, or ask out on the forums if someone can post it. And again, that forum link's on the bottom, and you'll find a lot of support out there for various devices. The T9 community is growing. Oh, it doesn't like my network settings for YouTube. And just to show you the strength of the Wi-Fi, it's finding multiple devices in my area. Wi-Fi, I haven't had any troubles with the Wi-Fi signal strength on the device. Probably with it being metal, it can conduct a little better too. Speculation. Rock player. We've got a trailer that came with the device. This was a 1080p avatar trailer. Again, this comes with stock with the device. Let's just get into the middle of it. 1080p. So as you can see, it runs a little jittery on 1080p. And got some other files that I want to run here. I've got some test ones. So we're going to use File Explorer. And you can change the default path in Rock Player to go to the external SD. But for video, I've got a 480p MPEG here. Play with Rock Player. As you can see, very smooth. Okay, I've got a 720p version of the same file. And the 1080p version. And you see it has a little more difficulty getting through that MPEG of it. And the audio actually just kicked out. But I think a lot of these lags can be fixed with the firmware updates and some optimizations there. So that's the device in a nutshell. Very happy with the device. I think this is going to be my new favorite. I do have the Mid-816R2, which I can show you here. This is also a capacitive. It is a 2-point multi-touch, so just 2. And you can see it's got beveled edges on buttons here and the camera. This is also running Samsung processor at 1.2, 512 meg RAM, 4 gig internal. They're essentially identical devices except for the screen and that the processor slightly overclocked on here. But will you notice that much of a difference between the two? No. The other big difference is weight. The Mid-816R2 clocks in about 1 pound versus the T9 clocks in at about 1.5 pounds. So the Mid-816R2 feels nice in your hands. It's light, the beveled edges work well. It's good to hold, but it's just not built with the same durable materials that you'll get on the T9 with the metal and the glass screen. So you can kind of weigh your pros and cons there of a little more weight for a little more durability and a better multi-touch screen, 5-point, as you saw, very accurate. Or you can go for a lighter tablet that you know, it's smooth, feels really good to hold, and has pretty much the same performance. That one is also running Gingerbread 2.3 Android right now out of the box. So those are the devices. Stay tuned for more videos, and thanks for watching. Bye.